Okay, so this is the first training for our Share the Love Challenge. And it's basically the focus is sponsoring in February because we know that that's where most of the money comes from on your paycheck. And also, just why would you not want to share the opportunity with everybody because you know what it does for you? So today is about how to start the conversation, who do you ask, tracking, following up, stuff like that. And then our next training Thursday will be hostess flipping, gifting your kits, discounted kits, marketing material, all that. So the reason that I did two this week is because I realized that, this challenge is for February, but you need as much knowledge about sponsoring as you can if you're going to sponsor as many people this month. So I wanted to do those kind of quick, and then we're going to do another training. I think I did it for next Thursday, and that'll be it. Unless you guys have something else that we didn't cover that you want to talk about, but so the first thing I want to talk about is who do you ask? And I took notes because I don't know what it's called, ADD, ADHD, or whatever, but I'm 99% sure I have that. So I'm going to be looking down at my notes to make sure that I'm not forgetting. So um, who you really want to start with your best customers. So if you have somebody who's consistently buying a lot of product from you, the best thing to do is go through. We're in the beginning of a new year, so go through all of 2020 and see how much they spent with you. So, if Sally spent $800 with me during 2020, then I'm going to call her and be like, hey, I first of all, I was pulling some numbers and I want you to know that I'm super grateful for you. And, first of all, thank them for being a really good customer. And then, yeah, old Sally. I always say Sally. I don't know why. Um, but then after that, tell her, this is what you've spent with me in 2020 and make it easy for her to see. Tell her, Brittany said my best customer joined yesterday. Yay. So tell her, not only telling her like, oh, you could have made so much money, tell her exactly how much. Add up what they spent with you and say, show them the number. This is what you would have made. And that's just from your sales. And let them know, that's not even to mention if your friends buy, if your family buy, if your coworkers buy, if you share it on social media, all this other stuff. But tell them, just your products alone, you would have made X amount of dollars. What could you do with that? So make it visible for them to be able to see that. Let's see. Also think about, obviously your best customers, they buy Scentsy, they love it. People who love Scentsy and they use it already, they're going to be your easy targets because they already love the products. Then also think about people who would just be good at your job. So if there's someone who, is just like an awesome, like people person, or like, for example, my best friend, Jessica, never, ever, ever asked her to join because I did not think she would do it. She was the last person on my radar. I thought she was going to like roll her eyes at me. I never asked her until she asked me one day. But I don't know why I didn't think about asking her because she talks to a brick wall. Like, those are the kind of people that would be a great consultant. If someone has no problem making conversation, that's how that relationship starts. That sales relationship, it's got to be genuine. It's got to be a connection, and it's really good when it starts with a conversation. So think about who's a great conversation starter, who needs the money, who spends so much on a babysitter going to a job that they hate every day. Really think about who could be blessed by the opportunity. And don't worry if the hardest ones are those needing to make money. Yeah. Okay, so for those people that need to make money now, um, sorry, y'all. Um, for those people, those are the ones you want to gift your kit to. So if you know somebody in a situation where they lost their job, they can't afford the kit. We're going to talk more about hostess flipping and gifting your kits on Thursday. But really, focus on that. I don't know where that sound's coming from. Remember to mute yourself.
I'm making over there.
Okay, I think I got it. But focus on those people for the free kits, because honestly, if you're gifting them a kit, if you're putting in a bunch of orders and you're using that free product to gift them a kit, there's really no reason for them not to try it, especially if they just lost their job. I realize it's a month away if they need money now, but they can still look for another job and still try to sell Scentsy within that month to get that income going. So, okay. And then also Scentsy Club. So if they're already buying from you on a regular basis, they're in your club, they are one of your VIP customers because they're buying from you every single month or bi-monthly, tri-monthly, whatever they signed up for. There's products that they obviously love. Let them know, and you can even change the verbiage instead of saying join my team or sometimes the word join really scares people, and it sounds like a cult thing. So sometimes people are afraid of the word join. So maybe say you can get paid to club, get paid to shop. Work on your verbiage and see what works best for you. As far as the converse, so that's who your targets are. Your targets are people who would really be blessed by this opportunity, people who you think would be good at your job, and your best customers. Those are the three main people you're looking for, your target market. The conversation, well, I just said, don't say the word join. Make sure that you make it about them. Do not ever, ever, ever contact somebody to join your team and say, I'm in a challenge. We're trying to build our team in February, and I need to get such and such people because I want to, win this challenge or whatever. That's not going to work. Like 0%. Make it about them because it should be about them. So, if there is somebody that that's struggling and you're offering them the opportunity, offering them a free kit, whatever, tell them why you're offering it free to them. I know you're a hard worker. I know that you lost your job during this pandemic. I want to do this to help you because it has blessed my family tremendously. And tell them about your personal experience with this company. People love to hear your story. And if your story just started, that's totally fine. And you may not have some crazy good story, but there's something that you can tell that Scentsy has done for you. Has it helped you pay off debt? Has it helped your family go on more vacations? What has it done for you? Figure out what your story is. And if you guys were on the not reunion, what was it called? World tour. If you guys were on the world tour and you heard the girl talking about storytelling, that was huge for me. Like, I loved that because I'm not great. I squirrel around. I'm not great at telling stories. I'm not great when I go live sometimes. Sometimes it is, but sometimes I'm like, what was I doing? So I really liked how she was talking about telling a story and really be intentional with what you're telling them. Help them visualize. So, I mean, it doesn't have to be some crazy story about, some people have really crazy good stories and you're like, how do I compete with that? But, it could be just paying off debt. But what did that mean to you? Like, how did that make you feel? How did that really affect you? What you were able to do with your income from this business, and share that. So go live. It is scary, I get it, but you've got to go live. It is 2021. A lot of people are on their phones, social media, like everybody is watching people live. If you think about like your kid, if you have kids, my daughter would rather watch a video of somebody playing with a toy that she has instead of playing with that toy. That blows my mind. She would rather watch a video of somebody playing a video game that she has rather than actually playing that video game. And 90% of the time, she's watching a video of somebody playing it while she's playing it. It blows my mind. I don't know why. I don't get it, but that's the world we live in. People want to see you live. And the messier, the better. Honestly, like, don't think that it has to be perfect. People love the blooper reel. So don't worry about if you mess up. Don't worry about if you get off track. Just go live. The more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. And it's going to attract more attention than a post 100% of the time. Also, with your social media posts, don't think that because nobody liked your post that you don't need to post that again. People are seeing it. Even if they don't like it, even if they're not commenting, you got to think about how you go through social media. I see so many things that I'm like, oh, uh-oh. It says my internet is unstable. I hope it's okay. I see so many people, lost my train of thought. Completely lost it because it just came up and said something about my internet. So sorry about that. Oh, I see so many things that when I'm scrolling through that I laugh at or that I love. Like, I see a cute picture of somebody's baby, and sometimes I just don't click anything. Like, it's not because I don't think that's a cute baby. I just don't click it because I'm just scrolling. So don't think that people are not seeing your post, that it's not, planting a seed in their brain. So keep posting. The consistency in this business is key. Okay, let's see. I lost my place on here. Let them know that you will be there to help them. A lot of people, especially if they've been in direct sales businesses before, they may think, oh, well, I joined such and such business. And, I'm not going to say specific one because I want to put this on YouTube. But I joined another direct sales business, and Sally told me she would be there for me, and she disappeared, and I had no idea what I was doing. So, make sure that they know we have a team page. We have all these resources. I'm going to be here for you to help you along the way. I'm going to help you get to your first goal. I'm going to help you get to your next goal for the first 70 days. Like, if you need me, you can call me anytime. I'm your biggest cheerleader. And then make sure they know all the kit options, because sometimes people think that we just have a $99 kit. Sometimes people don't realize that they can host to join. So if they're nervous, if they're saying, hey, I don't know, I would love to do what you do, I just don't know enough people. Well, let's have a party and let's see how it goes. There's no pressure. Worst case scenario, you get a lot of free and half price stuff, and you get a gift from me, for having your party. And best case scenario, you realize you know more people than you think that love Scentsy, and you start your own business for free because you hosted a party, or for a discounted rate. So make sure they know that that's an option. A lot of people do not want to flip parties, and this is crazy to me. I have heard so many times, but if I flip her party, I won't get all that PRV, and I worked for that. That's insane, because you're going to get more PRV by flipping her, and on a consistent basis every single month. So it is much more beneficial for you to flip that party. Oops, sorry. I think I asked somebody to unmute. It is much more beneficial to flip that party and have that PRV over the months and months and months than to have it for that 1 month. Much more beneficial, because you never know who the person that you're going to recruit. There's going to be people that don't do anything. I'm going to be honest with you. About 10% of your team is going to really work hard. 10%. That means that there's going to be about 90% that don't work very hard. And that's just the truth. Sometimes it's because it's a hobby to them. Sometimes they don't need the money. Sometimes they don't have the time. It just really depends on priorities. It doesn't mean that 90% are all slackers. That's not what I'm saying. But as far as having the same goals in this company, wanting to make it to the top, not everybody on your team has that mindset. So you never know who that next person is. when you recruit them. And it's really funny because it's always the people you don't think are going to do anything. And the people that you think, oh my God, she's going to be great. She knows so many people. She had $1,000 party. She's going to be great. She's not going to do anything. Not every time, but in my experience, it's always the people that really surprise me that end up being the real leaders. So you never know who that person is. So flip that party. Don't worry about that PRV. That's going to come back to you tenfold. Make sure that they know that, don't ever pressure. Make sure that they know there's no pressure to join. Make sure that they know how little the requirement is that they have to keep to be a consultant. And if it doesn't work out, hey, you can always come back in 3 months. Like, there's no pressure. You don't have to meet a crazy quota every single month. Some direct sales companies have like crazy things that you have to do on a monthly basis, not a tri-monthly basis like we have, or I think it's 4 months now. And then 12 months if you don't have a team. So we have a really good rate for retaining consultants. So, okay, making sure that you're tracking the conversation. Also, one more thing that I wrote down, make sure people know that you want to build a team. If you're only posting something when we do a challenge or when we have a join special or whatever, then people may not think that you want to build your team. Even if they know that you sell Scentsy, you're crazy about it, you love your job, when they get ready to join, if they know like 5 consultants and those other girls are posting about joining, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, then they're going to look at those girls and say, okay, well, she wants to sponsor me, so I know she's going to help me. So make sure that they know. Just because you sell Scentsy doesn't mean they know that you want them on your team. Okay, making sure that you are tracking your conversations. So not only having the conversation is important, but tracking that conversation, having a sheet in your binder or whatever, however you work, that has their name, the date that you talk to them, so that you can follow up in a month or 2. If somebody was kind of on the fence, then when we have a join special again, then that's a good time to contact her and be like, hey, I know we talked about this, before money was tight. You weren't really wanting to have a party then, but we have this join special this month, or, I have this kit that's up for grabs right now, whatever. So having a list of those people so that when you do have that kit that's up for grabs, you don't have to post it and say, hey, I have this if you want to join, message me, because you have a list of people who may be interested already. And then just the follow-up, making sure that you're tracking so that those follow-ups, so that you're following up consistently with that person. I've had several people who are now leaders. One of them is on here. One of them is my mother, actually. I told her for years, like so many conversations. And this is one thing I want to say too. It doesn't have to be like a formal conversation. A lot of times, like one girl that joined my team, she was in my chair, I was doing her hair, and she was talking about talking about extra money or whatever. And I was like, girl, that's why you need to sell Scentsy. Like, I planted that seed without saying, let me tell you about an opportunity that I have for you and all the benefits to this. And I wasn't overwhelming her. I wasn't telling her, all these facts. I was just like, that's why you need to join my team. Just make it genuine. Like, it doesn't have to be so serious. But back to my story. I tried to get my mom to join for a long time, and she would not listen to me. She did a company that I will not mention the name, years and years ago, and I think it kind of left a bad taste. And she even would talk to me about, have you really added up the cost of what it costs you to run your business and how much you're making? Is it really worth it? And then she joined, and she's a freaking director now. And I'm like, I really enjoy saying, I told you so. And she really loves it. So that's a bonus too. So you just never, you cannot count people out. The people that I counted out are the people who are directors now. So it's crazy. Another thing, another tip that I wrote is, when you're making posts to try to get engagement about joining, don't always make it about joining. One thing that you can do is make a post about like, what are your goals for this year? 2020 was rough. We're in 2021 now. It's kind of off to a bumpy start, if I say so, but we still have a lot of time left in the year. What are your goals? What do you hope to achieve this year? And when those people comment, that's your window to get in there and say, hey, I saw you said you wanted to be debt free by the end of this year. I have a great way to help you do that. I saw that you want to take more vacations next year. I have a way to help you do that. So just making it not about joining, but about things that could benefit them from joining, and then go back and have that conversation privately with them. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. I didn't want it to be like a super long video, especially for people to go back and watch that weren't able to get on. I just wanted to get some initial info out to you guys. Sponsoring is not scary, I promise. It can be intimidating at first. I'm not sure why. I think people are really scared of hearing no. And I think people are really nervous about what people will think of you, because you work for direct sales, because you're, trying to get them to join your team. But you can't think like that, honestly. I mean, if they're not paying your bills, their opinion does not matter. And you should be proud of your job. I mean, think about the stats that we had from last year in a year of a pandemic. And, I just think like people think that way because they don't know any better. And people are afraid of what they don't know. They're afraid of change. They're afraid of anything that's out of the normal. But 2020 was not normal at all. So I feel like right now people are a little bit more open-minded. I feel like they're a little bit more open-minded to the idea of having residual income. I think I used that word right. But another income. So now is a great time to start talking to these people who are becoming more open-minded. And definitely, I mean, more people are home right now. It's just a great time to build your team right now. There's not going to be a better time, because right now our company is up here. We're in the hyper growth phase, but inevitably after a hyper growth phase is going to come a dip. We don't know when that dip's going to happen. It could happen this month. It could happen next year. It could happen 3 years from now. We don't know when, but right now when we're up here is when you want to build your team, not when we're in that dip. That's going to be a lot harder time to build your team. So, okay, I'm going to stop the recording and then open it up, see if you guys have any questions for me.